Remember that insults and contempt are directed at opinions, not the people holding them. Epictetus. In a world full of interactions and exchanges, we often encounter situations where we feel disrespected or undervalued. These moments can stir up strong emotions within us, leading to conflict and distress. However, what if there was a timeless philosophy that could guide us through these challenging moments with grace and resilience? Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy founded around 300 BCE, offers profound insights into how we can navigate life's challenges, including instances of disrespect. The Stoics believed in cultivating inner strength, wisdom, and virtue to achieve a state of tranquility, regardless of external circumstances. Today, we're going to explore 10 powerful principles from Stoic philosophy that can help you effectively deal with disrespect in your life. By understanding and applying these principles, you'll be better equipped to maintain your composure, uphold your values, and foster positive outcomes in even the most challenging situations. But before we delve into these principles, it's essential to understand the core tenets of Stoicism. At its heart, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control and to accept with equanimity what is not. This foundational principle, known as the dichotomy of control, forms the basis of Stoic thought and is crucial for dealing with disrespect. Imagine a scenario where someone speaks to you in a demeaning or insulting manner. Your initial reaction might be one of anger or hurt. However, according to Stoicism, the words and actions of others are external events beyond your control. What you can control, though, is your response to these events. Stoicism teaches us to pause and reflect before reacting impulsively. Instead of allowing our emotions to dictate our actions, we can choose to respond with reason and wisdom. By practicing self-awareness and mindfulness, we can cultivate a sense of inner calm and stability, even in the face of disrespect. Furthermore, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of practicing empathy and understanding towards those who disrespect us. Instead of harboring resentment or seeking revenge, we can choose to view others with compassion, recognizing that their words and actions are often a reflection of their own inner struggles and insecurities. In the following sections, we'll explore each of these principles in more detail, providing practical strategies and insights for effectively dealing with disrespect in various areas of your life. Whether you're facing challenges in your personal relationships, workplace, or community, Stoicism offers invaluable wisdom that can help you rise above adversity and cultivate inner peace. Before we dive into the insightful content ahead, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos. Now, let's continue our exploration of Stoic wisdom and how it can help us navigate instances of disrespect with resilience and grace. Principle 1. Recognizing that disrespect is external and not a reflection of your own worth. In the philosophy of Stoicism, one of the core principles is understanding that our worth as individuals is not determined by external factors, including the opinions or judgments of others. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, repeatedly emphasizes the importance of recognizing that the opinion of others is not our concern. Disrespect can often be hurtful and challenging to deal with, as it may feel like a personal attack on our character or abilities. However, Stoicism teaches us to adopt a different perspective. Instead of internalizing the disrespect and allowing it to affect our self-worth, we are encouraged to view it as an external judgment that does not define us. Imagine a situation where you have put in a lot of effort into a project or task, only to have someone disrespectfully dismiss your work. It's natural to feel hurt or frustrated in such a situation. However, by practicing Stoicism, you can shift your focus from seeking validation to recognizing your own intrinsic value. Remember, the opinions of others are subjective and can be influenced by various factors such as personal biases, jealousy, or their own insecurities. Their disrespect says more about them than it does about you. By understanding this, you can detach yourself from the negative impact of their opinions. For instance, let's say you are a writer and have published a book. Despite positive feedback from readers, someone criticizes your work harshly, questioning your writing abilities. Instead of allowing their disrespect to undermine your confidence, remind yourself that their judgment is merely one person's opinion among many. Your worth as a writer is not contingent upon their judgment alone. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control. While we cannot control how others perceive or treat us, we have complete control over our own thoughts, actions, and responses. By shifting our attention towards our own character and principles, we can build a solid foundation of self-worth. Rather than seeking external validation, Stoicism teaches us to prioritize living according to our own values and principles. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the true worth of a person is measured by the good they do. Therefore, instead of allowing disrespect to diminish our self-worth, we can redirect our energy towards being virtuous, compassionate, and contributing positively to the world. In summary, recognizing that disrespect is external is an essential Stoic lesson. By understanding that it is not a reflection of our own worth, we can detach ourselves from the negative impact of others' opinions. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our character, principles, and the intrinsic value we bring to the world. By doing so, we can maintain our self-worth, navigate disrespect with grace, and continue to grow as individuals. Remember, the opinion of others is not your concern. Stay stoic and hold on to your own sense of worth till the end. Principle 2. Remain calm and do not retaliate. When someone disregards or insults you, it's tempting to let anger take over and seek revenge. But this is dangerous, because slashing out aggressively, even if the urge feels justified, usually makes things worse long-term. Instead, you must remain calm, take a deep breath, and detach your emotions from the situation. When you do this, you'll start to see things from a zoomed-out perspective, as if you're watching pieces on a chessboard. This brings clarity, and it makes you realize that 9 out of 10 times the situation is not even worth a response. After all, it isn't the disrespectful act itself that causes harm. Disrespect in itself isn't hurtful or offensive at all. It's our own interpretation and thoughts about disrespect that triggers feelings of hurt or anger. Listen, when someone disrespects you, it's crucial to remind yourself that their behavior reflects their own thoughts and opinions, not a divine judgment of your true value. They aren't God, so their negative opinion is meaningless anyways. This shift in perspective can help you maintain your inner calm. It helps you make a more rational response, if a response is even needed. Do not misunderstand it. I'm not telling you to tolerate or accept disrespect. What I'm saying is you should handle it with self-control and dignity. By remaining calm, you show you're not easily swayed by external events. Principle 3. Self-reflection. Reflect on your behavior to see if there's any truth in the disrespect, and consider how you can improve. In the realm of personal development and emotional intelligence, self-reflection is a tool that can be immensely powerful, particularly when dealing with disrespectful behavior. It's about taking a step back and evaluating your own actions and responses, aiming to find value in the feedback you've received, even when it's wrapped in disrespect. Let's explore this through an example. Suppose a colleague makes a disparaging comment about your recent project. Instead of instantly dismissing it as disrespect, consider whether there might be a grain of truth in their criticism. Could there be room for improvement in your work, or is there a different perspective worth considering? By doing so, you're embracing the Stoic practice of introspection and taking a rational approach to the situation. Reflecting on your behavior doesn't mean accepting unwarranted criticism, but rather, it's an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. You have the chance to sift through the disrespectful tone and extract valuable insights that can contribute to your personal and professional development. By internalizing this practice, you not only exhibit maturity and a commitment to self-improvement, but also demonstrate to others that you're open to constructive feedback, regardless of its delivery. It's an act of self-awareness that not only fosters personal growth, but also contributes to more harmonious and productive relationships, where constructive criticism is valued rather than feared. Principle 4, focus on what you can control. As Epic said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters when insulted or mistreated. Avoid wasting energy on trying to change the other person or ruminating endlessly about the situation. You cannot dictate their attitudes or behavior, but you have full agency over your response. Ask yourself constructive questions like, how can I handle this with composure and ethics? What can I learn from this about myself and my principles? What is the most dignified way to move forward? Channel your power into the sphere of influence available, staying rooted in values, acting with integrity, calmly advocating for fair treatment when viable, and controlling the message you tell yourself, of course. Seek to improve circumstances through reasonable action when feasible, but without attachment to controlling uncontrollable things, like someone else's conduct. Serenity comes from focusing only on what is within your power. Disrespect may be unavoidable at times, but you always can choose whether to respond with wisdom and principle or react with disturbance and blindness. Your control begins within. Principle 5. Practice empathy. Disrespect often stems from the insecurities and struggles of others. By practicing empathy, we can gain a better understanding of the pain and challenges that might be driving someone's disrespectful behavior. This understanding allows us to respond with compassion rather than reacting with anger or frustration. Empathy is the ability to put ourselves in someone else's shoes, to see the world through their eyes, and to connect with their emotions. It is the practice of recognizing and acknowledging the humanity in others, even when they are behaving disrespectfully towards us. When we encounter disrespect, our natural inclination may be to retaliate or defend ourselves. However, Stoic philosophy teaches us to rise above such impulses and respond with kindness and understanding. By doing so, we not only maintain our own inner peace, but also have the potential to positively influence the person who is disrespecting us. To illustrate the power of empathy, let's consider an example. Imagine you are working on a group project and one of your teammates consistently undermines your ideas and questions your abilities. Their disrespectful behavior is demoralizing and makes you feel undervalued. Instead of confronting them with anger or withdrawing from the situation, you decide to practice empathy. You reflect on the fact that everyone has their own insecurities and struggles. Perhaps your teammate feels threatened by your expertise and is trying to assert their own value. Recognizing this, you choose to approach the situation with understanding. You take the time to listen to their perspective, validate their contributions, and offer assistance when needed. By showing empathy, you create an opportunity for a more productive and respectful collaboration. Practicing empathy in the face of disrespect not only benefits the other person, but also enhances our own growth and resilience. It allows us to break the cycle of negativity and maintain our integrity. By responding with compassion, we show that we refuse to be dragged into a spiral of negativity and instead choose to rise above it. It's important to note that practicing empathy does not mean accepting or condoning disrespectful behavior. It means responding to disrespect with understanding and kindness, while also setting boundaries and asserting our self-respect. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what is within our control, our own actions and reactions, rather than getting entangled in the uncontrollable actions of others. By cultivating empathy, we not only foster better relationships, but also contribute to a more compassionate and understanding world. Through empathy, we can build bridges of connection, diffuse conflicts, and inspire positive change. In summary, practicing empathy when faced with disrespect is a powerful Stoic lesson. It allows us to understand the struggles and insecurities that may be driving someone's disrespectful behavior. By responding with compassion and kindness, we maintain our own inner peace and have the potential to influence others positively. Practicing empathy aligns with the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within our control and helps us navigate challenging situations with grace and resilience. Principle 6. Practice active listening. This may sound crazy, But sometimes the best way to deal with disrespect is to just listen. Listen to the disrespectful person to gain a better understanding of their concerns and issues. Active listening is a superpower. It's about tuning into the other person's concerns or issues, even if their delivery lacks respect. Instead of reacting defensively or shutting them out, just try to listen actively. You want to understand the root of their concerns, even if they're masked by disrespect. By doing this, you're demonstrating that you want to see the bigger picture. Active listening allows you to peel back the layers of disrespect and see the underlying issues. Once again, this Stoic approach isn't about condoning or excusing disrespectful behavior. It's about fostering understanding and empathy. By actively listening, you're showing that you're not allowing their negative behavior to trigger a defensive reaction. Instead, you respond with curiosity and compassion. Now, this isn't easy to do. It requires you to remain stoic and display emotional intelligence. But if you do manage to do this, you'll sometimes find issues that you wouldn't have been able to find otherwise. Keep in mind that sometimes a person may have good reason to be upset, but their emotions can mess up their delivery. Principle 7. Maintain self-respect. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the importance of maintaining self-respect, regardless of external circumstances or opinions. That our worth does not rely on the validation or approval of others, but rather on our own actions and adherence to our principles. When faced with disrespect, it is natural to feel hurt, angry, or even tempted to retaliate. However, Stoicism encourages us to rise above such reactions and instead focus on preserving our own self-respect. By doing so, we retain our integrity and uphold our values, regardless of how others treat us. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasizes the significance of self-respect. He writes, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, guard accordingly and take care that you entertain no notions unsuitable to virtue and reasonable nature." This reminds us that our thoughts and actions should align with our own sense of virtue, regardless of external circumstances. Maintaining self-respect in the face of disrespect requires understanding and accepting that we cannot control how others treat us. Marcus Aurelius advises, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Stoics recognize that our power lies in our response to external events, not in trying to control them. To maintain self-respect, it is crucial to stay true to our principles and not compromise our values simply to seek validation or acceptance from others. The Stoics believe that living a virtuous life is its own reward, and external validation should not be the primary goal. Epictetus, another influential Stoic philosopher, reminds us that no man is free who is not master of himself. This implies that our freedom and self-respect come from within, independent of how others perceive or treat us. When faced with disrespect, it is important to remember that the opinions of others do not define our worth. We must cultivate a strong sense of self and a clear understanding of our values, allowing us to navigate through disrespectful situations with grace and dignity. For instance, let's say you encounter someone who belittles your career choices. Instead of feeling diminished or questioning your decisions, remind yourself of the reasons behind your choices and the satisfaction you derive from your work. Recognize that their disrespect stems from their own limited perspective or insecurities, and it does not diminish the value you find in your chosen path. Maintaining self-respect also involves setting healthy boundaries. Stoics believe that we should not allow the actions or opinions of others to affect our inner tranquility. By establishing boundaries, we protect our inner tranquility. By establishing boundaries, we protect ourselves from being easily swayed by external judgment. If someone consistently disrespects you, it may be necessary to distance yourself from that person or limit your interactions with them in order to maintain your self-respect and emotional well-being. In the face of disrespect, Stoicism encourages us to respond with dignity and kindness rather than reacting impulsively or seeking revenge. By responding calmly and respectfully, we demonstrate our strength of character and refuse to be dragged into negative behavior. This does not mean we condone disrespect, but rather that we choose to rise above it and maintain our own moral compass. In conclusion, maintaining self-respect is a vital aspect of Stoic philosophy. By recognizing that our worth comes from within and does not depend on external validation, we can navigate disrespect with grace and integrity. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own actions, adhere to our principles, and respond to disrespect with kindness and respect. By nurturing our self-respect, we uphold our values and find inner tranquility amidst the challenges of life. Principle 8. Be polite and professional, but stand up for yourself when necessary. Default to being courteous and extending basic respect to those who mistreat you. Take the high road, but avoid all owing harmful behavior. To continue unaddressed in the name of peacekeeping, passivity backfires when disrespected. First see it out politely. Please do not speak to me that way, or those remarks were hurtful and unjustified. Give them opportunity to recognize and adjust their conduct. Assume good intent. Initially be firm and fair in establishing your boundaries, of course. Remove yourself immediately from any interaction. Turning verbal or physically aggressive. Do not remain mistreated for sake of etiquette. But even then, part ways while upholding your own authority and principles. Find power in embodying essential dignity for yourself and all people with principled courage and highest mutual care. Much conflict can be transformed. Lead by drawing out the angels in human nature. Principle 9. Realize you cannot force others to respect you. When disrespected, it is tempting to reactively blow up or cave in, trying to coerce respect through intimidation or obsequiousness. But these strategies undermine self-worth. Further, authentic respect cannot be compelled. Understand that other people's choices to be polite or not ultimately stem from their own judgments and inner state. Your attempts to control their behavior externally only lead to frustration and loss of personal power. Focus instead on self-respect, upholding your own standards of integrity, independent of how anyone else chooses to act. Lead by example through demonstrating principled, rational responses that speak for themselves. As Gandhi said, "I cannot teach you violence as I do not myself believe in it. I can only teach you not to bow your heads before anyone, even at the cost of your life." Stand tall internally when you remain composed and ethical amidst mistreatment. You earn self-respect through courage and virtue. Your inherent dignity shines bright enough to inspire it in others. When conditions allow, nurture it first within. Principle 10. Choose forgiveness. When most people get disrespected, they explode in anger. But the superior option would actually be to forgive. Stoics believed that forgiveness is not a favor for others, but a gift you give to yourself. Think about it. Holding on to resentment is like being chained, and although you may think your resentment is justified, the reality is that your resentment only limits you and not anyone else. Forgiveness is the real key to inner peace and happiness. However, forgiveness is not always easy. Sometimes it takes time, and it doesn't mean forgetting what happened. Instead, it means choosing to let go of negative emotions that harm you more than anyone else. We should forgive others, but not recklessly. Forgive with wisdom, compassion, and justice. Listen, forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It's not surrender, but victory. It's not a sacrifice, but a reward. Forgiveness is the ultimate act of self-care and personal growth. Thank you for staying till the end. If you feel any of the Stoic lessons resonated with you today, feel free to start a Stoic discussion in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like. And if you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you find peace and serenity in the Stoic.